Academy Award-winning actor Ernest Borgnine wasn't just known for his iconic roles. He was also famously candid. In a rare and revealing interview, Borgnine named the 7 actors he most disliked working with, offering unfiltered insights into the egos, behavior, and behind-the-scenes tensions that shaped his long career in Hollywood. Born Hermes Ephron Borghino on January 24, 1917, in Hamden, Connecticut, Ernest Borgnine would become one of the most respected, versatile, and colorful actors of his generation. The son of Italian immigrants, Borgnine's early life was defined by hardship and resilience. Raised during the harsh years of the Great Depression, he experienced his parents' separation at a young age, and even spent time in Italy with his mother before returning to the US. Before the Hollywood lights ever shined on him, Borgnine's path seemed far removed from show business. After high school, he took up various odd jobs before enlisting in the US Navy in 1935. He served with distinction for a full decade, including throughout World War II, ultimately rising to the rank of gunner's mate first class. It was a career marked by discipline and courage, qualities that would later define his on-screen presence. After the war, directionless but encouraged by his mother, Borgnine took a leap of faith into acting. She believed his larger-than-life personality belonged on stage. That belief led him to the Barter Theater in Virginia and later to New York, where he performed in the Broadway production of Harvey in 1951. Soon, Hollywood came calling. Borgnine wasn't your typical matinee idol. His rugged looks and booming voice made him a natural for tough guy and villain roles. His performance as the cruel Sergeant Fatso Judson in From Here to Eternity, 1953, turned heads and opened doors. But it was his role in Marty, 1955, that transformed his career and the public's perception of him. As Marty Paletti, a shy, kind-hearted butcher from the Bronx, Borgnine gave a performance filled with vulnerability and heart. It earned him an Academy Award for Best Actor, a Golden Globe, and a BAFTA, an incredible trifecta for any performer. Marty was more than just a hit. It showed that audiences were hungry for authenticity over glamour. Ernest Borgnine had arrived, and he stayed. The decades that followed saw Borgnine carve out a long and diverse career in both film and television. From action-packed blockbusters like The Dirty Dozen and The Flight of the Phoenix to war comedies like McHale's Navy, he proved his ability to switch between drama and humor with ease. Later, he gained a whole new audience as Dominic Santini on Airwolf in the 1980s, and even more so as the voice of Mermaid Man on SpongeBob SquarePants in his 80s and 90s. He was never the kind of actor to quietly fade away. Borgnine remained active well into his 90s, bringing warmth and energy to every performance. His lifetime of work was honored in 2007 when he received a Screen Actors Guild Lifetime Achievement Award and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Viewed off-screen, his personal life was just as storied and occasionally turbulent. Ernest Borgnine was married 5 times. His first wife, Rhoda Kemmons, came into his life after his Navy service. They were married in 1949 and had a daughter, Nancy. Though the marriage ended in 1958, they remained connected through their shared role as parents. His second marriage in 1959 was to acclaimed Mexican actress Katy Jurado. Passionate and high-profile, their union was marked by clashes of strong personalities and hectic careers. They divorced in 1963. His third marriage, perhaps his most infamous, was to Broadway legend Ethel Merman. The couple married in 1964 and were divorced just 42 days later. The failure of the marriage was so profound that Merman dedicated an entire blank page to it in her autobiography. Comedian Tim Conway, a close friend of Borgnine, summed it up best. Ernie is volatile, and Ethel was a very strong lady. You put 2 bombs in a room, something is going to explode. And I guess it probably did. His fourth marriage to Donna Rancourt lasted from 1965 to 1972. The couple had 3 children together, Christopher, Sharon, and Diana. While this period coincided with some of his most productive years as an actor, the pressures of fame and personal struggles led to the marriage's end. Finally, in 1973, Borgnine found lasting love with Tove Tresnæs, a Norwegian-born businesswoman and founder of the Tove Corporation. Their marriage lasted nearly 4 decades until his death in 2012. Tova was not only a supportive partner, but also played a key role in managing aspects of his public life in later years. Despite his jovial reputation, Ernest Borgnine was known to hold grudges. In a rarely discussed interview with a biographer, Borgnine named 7 actors he truly disliked. While he usually maintained a professional demeanor in public, in private, he didn't mince words. At the top of his list was Frank Sinatra. Although both were icons of their time, Borgnine took issue with Sinatra's domineering presence in Hollywood. Their tension reportedly stemmed from behind-the-scenes encounters during From Here to Eternity. Borgnine found Sinatra's attitude cold and his influence damaging, once calling him a guy who could freeze a room with a glance. Another actor he clashed with was Tony Curtis. Though the two starred together in The Vikings, 1958, Borgnine felt Curtis was arrogant and dismissive toward others on set. He disliked the way Curtis, despite his charm on screen, behaved behind the camera. Montgomery Clift, a fellow actor from Here to Eternity, also made the list. Though Clift was respected for his method acting and emotional depth, Borgnine reportedly found him aloof and overly self-important, referring to him as too caught up in his own head. Charlton Heston, known for his towering presence in epics like Ben-Hur, also rubbed Borgnine the wrong way. The two had conflicting views on acting and reportedly butted heads during production meetings, with Borgnine labeling Heston cold and pretentious. George C. Scott, another acclaimed actor, was said to have been too intense and competitive for Borgnine's liking. The animosity may have stemmed from differing acting styles. Scott's explosive method clashed with Borgnine's more grounded approach. Anthony Quinn, despite their shared heritage, had a personal fallout with Borgnine over a role both actors vied for in the 1960s. Borgnine never forgave what he believed was Quinn undermining him to producers behind closed doors. Finally, Burt Lancaster, one of the stars of From Here to Eternity, was someone Borgnine viewed with a mixture of admiration and resentment. Though they worked together professionally, Borgnine found Lancaster condescending and manipulative during filming, a trait he couldn't overlook. These revelations painted a different side of Ernest Borgnine, less the smiling TV veteran and more the old-school actor who remembered every slight, real or perceived. It showed that while he may have played lovable characters, he was at heart a man of strong feelings and an even stronger sense of justice. Through it all, decades of acting, personal highs and lows, and a legacy of unfiltered honesty, Ernest Borgnine remained a fixture of Hollywood. Whether as Marty the Butcher, the commander of McHale's Navy, or the booming voice behind Mermaid Man, he entertained audiences with a mix of heart, grit, and humor. He passed away in 2012 at the age of 95, leaving behind a career that spanned more than 6 decades, 5 marriages, countless characters, and, yes, a list of enemies he wasn't afraid to name. In the end, Ernest Borgnine wasn't just a tough guy on screen. He was a tough guy through and through, with a heart big enough to win an Oscar and a personality strong enough to never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's hidden drama, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories and legendary revelations from the stars. Stay tuned for the truth behind the fame.